Today we'll be watching an IGN interview as to why there will be a potential Marvel vs. Capcom 4. I can tell that myself along with you all are interested in these types of things coming around when it comes down to just Capcom introducing massive amount of content while having the fighting game of the year, which is Street Fighter 6. If you want to get in on the discussion, man, leave some comments. Y'all have been letting me know that y'all like this stuff. Get involved with the community polls too. I post a lot of polls and fun stuff. Drop your thoughts there too. Let's just vibe it out, man. Let's check it out. Still crazy, man, this is happening, by the way.
What's up, everyone? Mitchell Saltzman. We're here at EVO 2024. I'm here with
Shuhei
Matsumoto,
okay.
the producer of Marvel vs. Capcom Collection
yes.
and Street Fighter 6.
Street Fighter 6.
First question, let's just talk about how long has this collection been in the works?
So we've been planning for about 3-4 years to make this project a reality. We've been talking with Marvel for quite a while, and back then we just didn't have the opportunities to release this game, but now after those discussions with them, we were finally able to do so.
So it's kind of crazy also because in my comment sections, the shout out to you all, there's a few of y'all that actually stated that at actual esports events, FGC community events, that there was a lot of already build up to like maybe a CVS type collection or Capcom another one. Also just hinting and teasing a lot of stuff for a potential MVC also. So shout out to you all. I did not know that this was even plotted, and right now it's confirmed it was like 3 or 4 years that they were kind of working on it.
Speaking of talking with Marvel, can you describe what Capcom's relationship is with Marvel right now?
Yeah, it's very positive. As we mentioned, we've been in talks with them for a few years now, and they've really been excited and motivated to release these classic games. So overall, it's been really good and positive.
You mentioned.
So one thing that people don't really notice also is the fact that when Marvel vs. Capcom came out, like Marvel wasn't the actual just the status it's on right now, especially with Deadpool 3 and everything going down, to have some type of agreement, you have to really trust Capcom. And Marvel could have just maybe turned their cheek based on how much badasses they are this time around, but it's a yes. I mean, back when Marvel vs. Capcom came out, I think it was maybe Hugh Jackman's X-Men and maybe Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man Blade, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Like, Marvel was not Marvel when these games came out. And so for Marvel to be the way it is now and for them to be in agreement in the last 3 or 4 years, which is massive. I know it hasn't been since like maybe Infinity War and everything like that, but Deadpool 3 was not bad. So for them to come into agreement with that type of branding shows the trust in Capcom and how much Capcom is dominating for a fact.
Mentioned in another interview that Capcom has big dreams for the Versus series.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about what those dreams are and what what the Versus series means to you as a whole?
Yeah, this doesn't just apply to the Versus series. We have a lot of other legacy fighting games that we know fans out there are really want them to be re-released again on modern platforms, and the feeling is mutual on the development side. We want people to get to know all these other classic games. So hopefully what we can do right now is to try to re-release them, and so that people who may have never had the chance to play those games to get familiarized with them, and from there hopefully we can go into bigger and better things.
Very true. Not just re-release though, like re-release these games with active servers. That's crazy, by the way. And 2, he actually knocked out exactly what I have been saying in a lot of our series when it comes down to this Capcom series of videos we've been doing recently, is the fact that newcomers and OGs, like, it just helps cross interest everything. Newcomers that can really see the foundation of fighting games, and then us people that are old as shit, we get to know everything. Like, I don't know, it's just so amazing.
Speaking of some of those classic Capcom fighting game series, Street Fighter 3 for Third Strike just had an incredible top 6 at EVO.
Yeah, it's crazy. More entries than Mortal Kombat 1, and Mortal Kombat was the first. Mortal Kombat 1 was their first go around at EVO, and Third Strike had more entrants competitively than MK1. That's crazy.
It's a game that's been re-released several times over the years. Is that something that still you're looking at, also kind of giving a definitive edition for in the future, or is it kind of one of those things where we've already done several re-releases for it?
Definitely. We we want all our classic games to be available for modern consoles because we just want to be able to reach as many people who may have never had the opportunity to play these games back in the day. So we constantly think forward, and we want to make sure that it's as accessible as possible for all audiences.
That was funny.
So going back to Marvel vs.
Very, very true, though, is what we've been saying. Like, for newcomers to really check out these games, it's going to be insane. Like what I said, and I said this in my other video, too, it's hard. It's probably going to be hard for them. Like, you know, they need to get their ass whooped a little bit. Unless you know how to play some of the newer games. Like, you're playing Street Fighter 6, you're grinding the Master Rank, and you're on Tekken, and you're on MK1 right now. Then these games are going to, it'd probably be pretty easy. It'd probably be easier, vastly easier, you know, so.
Capcom for a second. This is a game that means so much to fans across the world, really.
Oh, yeah.
Especially, you know, popular streamers like Maximilian, like Justin Wong.
Yeah, Max.
I was wondering, have you seen any of those reactions, and what's your reaction to how people have received the announcement of this collection?
Yes, we definitely saw all the reactions and the comments and the positive
I'm probably
feedback,
one of those idiots, too.
When we were able to make the announcement, and the feeling is
Max
mutual.
is goated.
One door has been opened with regards to the Marvel vs. Capcom series, because it's been, you know, we've heard nothing about it for so long.
Facts.
Is this the kind of thing where if this game does well, the future of the Versus series is wide open, and you know there could be more collaborations
Second
between
question.
Marvel and Capcom or
Asking about
other
NBC4.
franchises out there?
So to answer
Try
your
to get it out of
question
him.
about whether or not we want to make a brand new Versus series title, the answer to that is yes.
Woo!
And the best thing that we can do right now is to re-release these classic titles that some of our fans may not be fully aware of. And of course, there's constraints, there's different schedules. It's going to require collaboration with other non-Capcom parties in order to make this happen. And that could take some time, but we feel that the best that we can do right now is to re-release these games to energize the community.
Well, in totality, of course, it has to be a huge agreement with Marvel being the bigger aspect right now, but also just everything wise, right? Like, it depends on us too as consumers. Like, are we going to be supporting these classic collections? Are we going to be stating our voice? Hence why I made this channel, to really, at least to revamp the channel and spreading awareness on things like this. And it's important. And I'm one of those guys that does reactions and breakdowns and try to spread like real knowledge on, and if some of these newcomers that never play these games, and vastly important it was in the 90s, and how niche a fighting game is, and to be able to evolve like this, it's beautiful.
Switching gears for a second to Street Fighter 6, you guys announced recently that Terry and Mai from Fatal Fury are going to make their appearance in Street Fighter 6.
Yes.
How did that collaboration come about?
So that, of course, it already happened. I'm a little behind on this video.
Relationship with SNK, and we've been discussing with them for quite a while now. And actually, you know, during COVID, there was a period of time where we couldn't have any offline tournaments, but then once restrictions started to become a little looser, and once EVO was able to start up again, we were talking with them to see is there anything that we can do to celebrate this moment now that we're all back together. And the idea that came out of those conversations was to do these collaborative posters where both SNK.
That's what people were talking to me about in my comments. So shout out to you all. I know a lot of people said y'all saw those physically, bro. If you saw these physically, let me know.
And Capcom artists draw each other's characters in their own style. And at that time, we were also working on actively developing Street Fighter 6. So we really wanted to see if there's any opportunity to introduce some of their characters. So we asked if it's possible to get Terry and Mai in Street Fighter 6, and they were very open about it and positive. And yeah, it started small to see what we can do in the short term, but then through conversations, we tried to see what's something that's even bigger that we can do, and we're finally to the point where both Terry and Mai are going to be coming out shortly.
Terry is a character.
So dope, by the way. And I said that also in my previous videos, man. Check those out, please. And we had some fun breakdowns with you all. But one of them being that, you know, them bringing SNK on board. Again, I'm not saying SNK was a dead aspect, you know, Fatal Fury, but just bringing them on board and helping the cross marketing and the promotion and really having the collabs going down. It's just so cool to see that, and especially people that were never even around for CVS2. It's awesome, man. It's so cool what they're doing. They're just really trying to win this cool, you know, vibe, and I like it. You know, it's like an umbrella of FGC winning where everybody can win in their own way through awareness, marketing, branding, cross promos, and helping this game out, helping City of the Wolves come around and stuff.
Character that, you know, fits obviously very well in the SNK style of fighting game. How has it been translating his moveset and his playstyle over to Street Fighter? If you can talk a little bit about how he's going to play in Street Fighter 6.
Nice.
So
this doesn't just apply to the SNK characters, but when we during our selection process for any characters that join the game's roster, we always try to think about whether or not they're a good fit in terms of like the game system, game mechanics, and Terry and I passed that test, and they felt that they would be a great great add-on to this lineup. So yeah, we're very excited for them to come out.
So
Nice.
the mainline Street Fighter series has kind of historically not included any guest characters. So I was just wondering what changed to finally open the door for guest characters
Whoa. They never have? Damn. I never really thought about that.
to come in, and is that door open so much to the fact that, or to the way that
I guess because I'm just so used to MK doing it like so like relentlessly easy, right? They have so many damn like guest characters.
other fighting game properties might find their way into Street Fighter?
So Terry and I are joining the roster in the starting from the year 2 lineup, which is relatively early in the lifetime of the game. However, we were all very excited about the positivity that we saw online once we made the announcement. We're very much looking forward to actually seeing people play with these characters, and based on that reaction and based on how people are engaging with these characters, we would like to consider other options maybe in the future. So this was quite a big challenge for us to even incorporate these guest characters. As you mentioned, this is the first time. But hopefully things move forward.
Would have never thought about it like that.
You know, there's more opportunities that open up for us.
And then final question, this is something that I've been asking pretty much everyone that I've talked to here at EVO, but what do you think is the next kind of evolution for the fighting game genre? You know, to give you an example, you know, netcode was something that a lot of fighting games struggled with, and then rollback netcode came along and it kind of pushed the genre forward. What do you think is like the next thing that will push the fighting game genre forward?
What y'all are doing.
So to speak on Street Fighter 6, we took on a lot of different challenges, and our goal was to get people as interested in fighting games as much as possible. And we feel that because of our efforts, we were able to reach an audience that might have never wanted to play a fighting game. We're seeing a lot of engaged players, especially in Japan, and people who this may be their first time playing a fighting game, actually enjoying it. So whether it's technical improvements or just constantly servicing the game to provide new content, we feel that us and companies in general need to think about all these things in order to reach this audience and explain to them and get them to realize that, hey, fighting games are a lot of fun and they're worth checking out.
Very true.
So there's probably a lot of different things that we need to continue to think about, and we hope to be able to
I like to
reach
hold on, I'll let it
more
finish.
people in the future.
All right.
Yeah, so I like to say that Street Fighter walked so Tekken could run right with modern controls. Modern controls was very risky to do. And then you saw people competing with Luke modern controls. And then I say Tekken so Tekken could run because Tekken obviously has special style. And I see people in like higher ranks, like blue ranks, still using. I literally was fighting a special style blue ranks in Tekken, and I was like, what the hell? So, you know, Street Fighter walked with that to try to bring a mainstream. They catapulted a lot of other things like the drives and everything like that so they could help. Tekken did the same thing with Heat Burst, making more aggressive gameplay. And I feel that Tekken took a lot of emphasis and inspiration from what Capcom and Street Fighter are doing. And also Street Fighter just made it look so well with the World Tour, giving ideas of how to create more mainstream aspirations of fighting games. I got into fighting games again because I started with World Tour Street Fighter 6 when it released like in June, and then MK1 came around in like September, October, and then of course January was Tekken. And when I was doing all of that, it was because Street Fighter was mostly the inspiration from the aesthetics, the hip hop. From Street Fighter 5 to Street Fighter 6, it was just a way different game. And yeah, they did incredible with it, man. So it's just...
Well, Matsumoto-san, thank you so much for your time. And for more fighting game coverage right here at EVO 20.
Okay, so that's about done. But yeah, so I mean, it still is the leading, like Capcom is making history right now. They are the leading, like when it comes to bigger events, when it comes down to competitive viewership, all around things, like Street Fighter is still leading despite it being a 2D game, you know, and a fairly common FGC niche market. Street Fighter is the lead. They get more participants than Tekken does competitively at the highest level. And then Tekken comes around the 3D aspect, which is, it's always Street Fighter Tekken. The only debates you can have right now, especially since MK1 has been a very dry launch thus far, and their participants, like Third Strike, was higher entrance versus MK1, and MK1 would barely got to EVO this past time around this summer. So yeah, legendary. Street Fighter wins. Like what they're doing is so cool. There was 2 questions in there that try to get him to say like, hey, MVC 4, and basically he's saying yeah. And for the most part, it's due to the fact that they just have to probably talk to Marvel and see where Marvel's at in their head for a brand new installment, especially like after the whole Infinite stuff and all that. But yeah, y'all let me know what's up. What do y'all think? I think this was a very good breakdown. Let me know what y'all think and y'all thoughts, or just what y'all are debating what I'm saying. Anything does provide a vibe, you know, and this is a channel for awareness of fighting games, so your voice matters, my voice matters. That's what they say. They do check out reactions and content, and I'm pretty sure they do probably come across something we do, because some of our videos start scratching that algorithm at times and it starts getting out there on the thousands of views. So I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a good one. Peace.